Hello Bailey, here is your sewer scope from today's inspection. It's me just kind of pointing things out, letting you know that I'm actually in the basements there, your basements. That's that clean out that I pointed out earlier, floor clean out. One little kind of just point here. I forgot to zero out my camera right when I was entering the pipe. So we're at like plus 4 feet that I'll factor out as I'm giving distances. So here's our first transition. We go from PVC to cast iron. The cast iron is the original pipe from the house. You've got 3 flavors of pipe going on here. You've got cast iron. Now we're in clay. So we make this change, which is really typical. You know, in our area, I say this almost every day, that typically underneath the foundation of the house, now we're switching to PVC, we're cast iron. Then once we get to the exterior of the house, we switch to a different material. In older homes built in the 50s or earlier, it's typically cast iron to clay. What you've got is a mix of those 3 pipes. The PVC pipes are repair sections that have been cut in over the years. You switch back and forth at this point between PVC and clay. I think it might be 3 times. Kind of lost count there. So I paused for just a second just because the camera lens either fogged up or just got covered over with cobwebs. So I'm running some water. Eventually it'll make its way down the pipe to it, and that'll wash off the front of the camera, the lens. There we go. So a few more feet, we're going to switch back to clay, but we're going to go underwater a little bit first. The cause of this, I mean, typically when you go underwater, there can be a number of reasons, but the bottom line with this one is it's a wad of toilet paper. Now, what the toilet paper got hung up in, not terribly difficult to guess. Once we get past this, once we clear this out, and especially on the way back, because we've moved it out of the way, it's basically a wad of roots. At this section also, there's this relatively large offset in the pipe. So we're switching from PVC to clay. What I'm doing here is, besides making everybody seasick, I'm trying to wash some of this water down the pipe so we get a better look at the lip of the clay pipe. You can just see it there in the bottom of your screen. So that's going to take me a little work to get over. Eventually what I'll do is I'll run a large volume of water in the utility sink, and that'll be enough to get me over the top of this lip. It's pretty extensive. You know, it's enough to potentially hold toilet paper at least for a little while, you know, until it softens up enough where it's just going to kind of break up and wash away. But there are roots further up which does a better job of holding water and, again, catching paper products. Hang in there. It should just take a second. You'll know when we've got enough water to get moving again. There we go. All right, now we're clear. You can just kind of see the roots right there. I'm going to turn the water off, let some of this subside so we can actually see what we're doing here. But just ahead of the spots, there's roots growing in at one of the clay connections. And again, you'll get a better look at it on the return trip once all the water dissipates out. And that's, I mean, an important point that on the way back, most all of the water has drained out. There we go. I mean, ultimately what I'm going to say is that the pipe probably, again, it's just in a few spots, and here we go back to PVC, just in a few spots, but again, I would still clear those roots out. I would have somebody come in and clean the pipe. If it gets bad enough, obviously, if it creates enough of a dam with paper products, you're going to start backing up into the house. So we're going to drop here, and this is ultimately the city connection. There you go, right there. Now, I wasn't 100% sure at this point. It was hard to tell. So I decided to keep going. So now we're actually in the mainline pipe, I believe. I went out another 30 feet or so until I saw another connection. So one of your neighbors downstream. And then I backed up from there. But so the big takeaway is the pipe's in moderate to decent condition. It's had some work done. It's had some repair sections cut in over the years. You've got a little bit of root growth. I would recommend, there's that connection to one of your neighbors. I would recommend having the pipe cleaned. And then also have them re-video the pipe just to check, especially at that spot where the roots are, just to check to make sure that there isn't any damage in that area. I don't think that there is, but you just want to confirm that. You're welcome to watch the return journey if you want. Please read through the written reports for some recommendations, and then reach out to me if you have any questions. I'm always happy to be a resource.